There's only one blade. There's ever only going to be one blade. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Rewatch. My name is Ethan Bronson, and this is where we are rewatching every project in the MCU in chronological order, leading up to Avengers Doomsday. We are watching literally everything, so you don't have to, including this episode today. So please make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, give a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to today. So if it looks like we've aged a little bit, we're actually way in the future. Way in the future. Somebody just asked me, I believe it was Wyatt, what are we doing today? Blade, just like its normal production in the MCU, basically got wiped from the face of this earth. So we're coming back on because we want to serve the people, make sure that we prove our existence and prove that we watched these movies, mostly because we did the work already. I'm not gonna let it slide. So we're coming on to talk about Blade. We did have an okay conversation on it. So yeah, we're kind of rehashing Blade. Brody actually wasn't on our talking for Blade. So yeah, I'll quickly introduce Wyatt and Brody. How you guys doing?
I'm annoyed.
Doing great.
Why are you annoyed?
Because I asked a genuine question about how the production is supposed to go today so I can be prepared, and you answered by ignoring me and hitting the record button and putting me on the spot.
No. There's nothing to be annoyed about. This is...
Okay, sorry. My feelings are not valid.
If you're going to
That's
watch
right.
the Sacred Rewatch, it's going to be for this very reason. Truthfulness.
The genuineness of it all?
Right?
That's right.
We're being truthful, right? We could have...
That's right.
Honestly, the average Sacred Rewatch fan probably would have never figured out that we didn't release Blade, but
That is true.
we were adamant that we were going to make it happen. Brody was on top of it. And what I think's the most interesting, Brody, is you just sent us our show notes that you had.
Yep.
And I'm starting to remember things that I don't remember watching.
That's a lot of this rewatch for me. It's just the way it is.
Why? Did you
I don't know,
review your notes?
Yeah, I did. I pretty much forgot everything about these movies until I read the notes Brody sent me. And I was like, oh, it's right.
So I'll do my best to kind of carry the conversation. Why, do you have your scores hidden somewhere or no? Okay. Well, I want to say
I got a confession to make.
Yeah.
When I do my scores, I pretty much clear the scores from the week prior and then just put the new scores for the newest movie. So I only ever have the most current of scores. And I don't even have the actual titles anymore. I just quietly have 5 numbers in a row.
Brody, did you watch these Blade movies or not? Okay. So what I'm going to kind of do...
I might have your guys' scores here.
I have my scores up.
I have all of them except Blade Trinity.
Best one. No, I'm just kidding. It was terrible.
So what I will do is I'll give my scores. Wyatt will give his, because in retrospect, clearly these movies were not important, but it was important to the integrity of the Sacred Rewatch, right?
Right.
So I'm going to go over my scores. Wyatt or Brody, if you can bring up Wyatt's scores. Brody, if you have your scores, that'd be great. And then I'll kind of give a summary through each one, some things that stood out, and we'll get out of here.
All right.
Does that work?
Sure.
You're the boss.
So, for Blade 1, I gave it... Oh, I have to add my Blade 1 score up again. I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7.
That's a lot.
Half a point for story, 1.5 for characters. I think the only strong point of all these Blade movies is Blade himself, besides Blade Trinity, probably, which we'll talk about in a second. Sound and score being a 1. There's nothing memorable about this soundtrack. Nothing about... Besides
Except
the first one. The first
opening.
one, I will say, the very opening scene. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Rewatchability, I'll give it 2.5, mostly because I was intrigued watching the first one. I do think the first one is the best one. And iconic, I did give it this highest point category for all three movies. In the first one, I don't 1.5. I think there's an argument to be made that it really should be a 5 just because of the precedent that this movie set, not only for superhero movies, but black superheroes in general. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to maybe start that as our talking point for Blade 1. Kind of the importance of this movie.
Should we run through me and Wyatt's scores and then do that?
Yeah.
I gave Blade 1 an 8. Iconic moments a 2, character 2, sound score 2, rewatchability 1, story stakes 1. And then let me pull up Wyatt's right here.
I'm gonna vibe it. I give it a 10, probably.
Okay, that's what it says. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
I had the feeling I probably enjoyed it a little more than Ethan did. Mm-hmm. So if he gave it what did he give it a 0?
A 7.
A 7. I was like, I'll probably, about 3 scores higher. Yeah, Blade 1's cool. You got the cool moments. He's a vampire. Daywalker. I remember really liking the scene at the start. With it's just cool. I think they do a lot of cool stuff.
I think it's such a good like. It's cool that it exists, but it didn't execute it the best. Which is how I feel like a decent amount of these movies line up to be in this era. Like, it's just cool because how different it is from the MCU.
Yeah.
But there's moments where they're, like, super cool. But I don't know. I feel like this movie I also got lost in a little bit. Like, I think I'm too used to, like, some of these modern MCU movies that ease you into their world or something. This one, like, drops you into it. You gotta, like, put together, like, what's going on with vampires, how many there are, what's going on, who knows about it, who doesn't.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I think this is a crazy benchmark in Marvel for their movies.
Brody, was this your first time watching these Blade movies?
Yes.
Was? How would you rate that experience as a first-time watch? Was it kind of what you expected it to be? Who's dropping emojis? I didn't even know it was a thing.
I'm reacting. I was surprised at what Brody said.
I wonder if those pop up in the final edit.
I'd be so sick if it did.
Right. I don't know. I wouldn't say the experience was like crazy good. Probably a little less than Ben Affleck's Daredevil because I did enjoy that one. What a movie! But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was what I expected, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel bad for the people that play Rivals with me because after I watched these movies, I was playing Blade, and I'm not good at playing Blade.
Before I realized that I couldn't change my background mid-recording, I was about to change it to the Blade like MVP screen from Marvel Rivals. I had it saved on my computer. And
there you go.
Now that we watched, 6 months later or however long it's been since we watched this movie, looking back on it, it's a bit of a testament to how not great it was that I cannot remember a single plot point from the first movie.
None?
I remember Chris Christopherson was in there. And that annoyed me because he's known for singing Ghost Riders in the Sky as his songs. And I'm like, why isn't this guy in Ghost Rider? What's he doing in Blade?
Deacon Frost, and there's a fight at the temple at the end, and I think his mom or his girlfriend, I can't remember which one she was supposed to be, you think is dead the whole time, but then she's his mom, right?
And that's the mom.
Don't want to mix those two up. His mom's like not dead. His mom, he loves being a vampire. And then I think he killed his mom,
bit when he was pregnant, or when she was bit when she was pregnant.
I didn't know it was that kind of movie.
And that caused him to have vampire powers, right?
That would make sense.
Isn't it the lore?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why he's like partially whatever.
Let me
if I'm not mistaken, I think Deacon Frost keeps smoking cigarettes during the movie. He's kind of aura farming the whole time, and he looks kind of badass.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Oh, I remember one thing that I did talk about was the final fight between Blade and Deacon Frost, like the visual symmetry. I believe I remember one guy being like on top of like it's very Colosseum-like, but it was like this.
It's a tomb.
Yeah, a tomb. I really remember liking like the visual symmetry of that scene, or asymmetry for that matter. I thought it played out really cool.
Yeah. Would you want to jump into Blade 2? Or are we doing a little 10 minutes?
I really don't care about how long this episode is. We'll just keep buzzing along. Blade 2. Brody, what do you... I have 7.5 down, but I almost remember changing it.
Yeah, I have a 7.5 for you.
Okay.
And I have an 11 for Wyatt.
I gave a story 1.5. I thought it was a little bit better. Characters 2 was a little bit better. Sound and score was the same. Rewatchability, I gave a 2, which is half a point down. And iconic, I gave a 1. Kind of just gets progressively worse and worse.
I gave it a 10. I think Guillermo del Toro makes this movie cooler than it should be.
Dude, I forgot he directed that.
Which this would have been before he did Hellboy or after? Mm-hmm. I don't know, to be honest.
I can't remember.
Let me ask Google.
Right? Go for it.
I do remember being surprised that Guillermo del Toro directed this movie because I remember watching it with Wyatt, I believe. No, maybe we just talked about it.
Yeah.
And the shock that I had when I saw Guillermo del Toro was the director, that really caught me off guard. And
dude,
to be honest,
we need him back in some franchises, man. He was going to do a Star Wars project. He was consulted for Mandalorian and Grogu. And I'd be so down to see him do a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie. Or DC.
I would have thought that Guillermo del Toro was a lot older. He's only 61.
He did Blade in 2002. He did Hellboy in 2004.
Blade 2. He didn't do the first movie, right?
No, it's 3 different directors. And
which is always interesting.
And the biggest talking point I do remember about Blade Trinity was the director drama, which I can rehash. I also do have some fun facts, too, if you guys were interested.
Dude, I'm so interested. Can you ice skate uphill?
The original ending for Blade 1 had Frost transforming into a swirling CGI blood tornado creature.
So cool.
The test audience did not like it, so they reshot
like the Tasmanian Devil.
Lame test audience.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
We should have tested the audience before the audience got tested.
Wesley Snipes brought some like legit credentials to the choreography, including a karate black belt and some type of other training. I don't really know what that word is.
I actually heard that at the end of the second one, there's supposed to be a post-credit scene where Dr. Doom shows up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I do want to talk about, like the cultural significance of Blade, is not only what I was talking about it being like big for superheroes, big for Black superhero representation, because this was kind of the first time. And this next one, I would argue, is probably the biggest one. Is it basically allowed the rest of the Marvel Studios, Marvel Entertainment branch to continue from that point. Because if it flopped, it's very likely that we would not have the MCU today. It kind of brought them out of bankruptcy, which they had declared, I believe, formally. And this was 2 years before the first X-Men movie happened. So, you know, because of Blade, X-Men was able to happen. Because the X-Men happened, the MCU was able to happen. So I do think there should be a lot of credit given to this first movie. For the second one, this was actually Guillermo del Toro's Hollywood breakout film. It led to Hellboy, as Wyatt was talking about. He brought Ron Perlman and Luke Goss with him. Goss later played Prince Nuada in Hellboy 2. Wyatt, does that ring a bell?
Never seen Hellboy.
Neither have I. I was just saying stuff to seem cool.
And Blade 2 was the best reviewed and highest grossing out of the 3, roughly $150 million worldwide.
Wow.
Which I think is a little surprising, actually.
That's more money than I have.
It is.
Barely.
We could do a lot with this channel with the $150 million.
Not if I can't edit it.
True.
Dude, that's how I feel about this Blade video. I feel like that recent, now that we can talk in retrospect, about that recent Kevin Feige comment where he says he feels like a gigantic loser and failure for what happened with Blade. Which I love because he says it like not serious in the interview, but every headline makes it sound like he's like, I'm such a loser. Can't believe I messed that up. But really he's like, yeah, man, that sucked.
I was going to save this for our Illuminati takeover, but
my bad.
I didn't know. No. I wanted to talk about it. I didn't know that quote was popular. I actually watched it early this morning, the whole interview. And I was kind of waiting for him to crack a smile, and it hurt me to see how serious he was about it. And then there was something along the lines of like, yeah, we really messed it up with Mahershala Ali. Like, we really should have nailed that one. Which the phrasing of it makes it seem like, yeah, Mahershala Ali is never going to play Blade.
Right.
The video game got canceled too.
That is true. There's people like that worked on it that are like, this is canceled, by the way. They won't tell you, but it's canceled. But
I'm so excited for that. I was so excited for that.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. We haven't, other than Kang Dynasty, I can't think of a project that was like so certain and then got shut down within Marvel for the MCU. Like, there's been, like, ideas thrown out there, like the Nova show, like, things like that.
Well, especially such a big IP like
but
Blade. But
nothing, like, cast like Blade. And a good cast, and someone who's very popular right now.
You have a great actor, you have a great story, a great character.
He was great in Jurassic Park Rebirth. Is Rebirth the new one?
Yes.
He was great in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Had me excited for him to play Blade, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
And we're also watching this in retrospect that we watched Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think we had at the time of the first Blade one. So, I don't know if that helps the discussion at all, but we've now seen him come back.
I did want to talk about it because it does almost help me at least appreciate these Blade movies a little bit more, just because, like, that's the only thing we got, from Blade, and it's probably going to be the only thing we have for, I would say, at least
There's only ever going to be
5 years.
Probably forever.
I mean, because you have somebody like Wesley Snipes be the first Blade, they were kind of going along the same lines of trying to get an A-list actor in Mahershala Ali. Do you have to follow it up with another A-lister? Do you get a nobody? Which I always kind of advocate for, because I think there's kind of this idea that they can kind of leave everything out there, and sometimes it brings out the best performances. You bring up a Chris Hemsworth, a Tom Hiddleston, Robert Downey Jr. at the time, phenomenal performances, keep them in the MCU for a long time.
I just want Moon Knight and Blade crossover.
Mm-hmm.
That would be dude, as a Halloween special.
Well, I mean, if really everything went well, I feel like we could all agree that we would love to see a Midnight Suns project, period, whether it's a show, a movie, a trilogy. Like,
I think after a Blade movie, because you got to do a movie first, it deserves that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do an actual movie. And then after, I think like a Halloween special, like the Disney Plus stuff.
Maybe do like a Ghost Rider special.
I think that could be Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
But even Ghost Rider, I think it's been so long that like we need movies for those guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But then again, if it's all getting rebooted, none of these guys are around. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Blade Trinity. I believe I gave it a 4.5. That's at least what I have written down.
Oh yeah, I don't have the Blade Trinity scores. I'm checking.
Blade Trinity is a terrible film.
No, you are right about that. There's nothing.
Well, I was like, no. I was like, what do you mean?
I remember hating every aspect of that movie.
Nice.
Anything else to add to that?
No, it sucks.
I give it a 4,
watched it
I think.
in 3 months. I only ever saw it the one time. But it was pretty terrible. I remember finding Ryan Gosling extremely annoying. Not Ryan Gosling, sorry. Ryan Reynolds.
Dude, I was like, what did I miss?
Extremely annoying throughout that course of that movie.
Yeah, what's the deal with what's with all the Ryan Reynolds? I didn't know he was in this movie.
This was his kind of breakout for at least for Deadpool. Kevin Feige, I believe, was like an production assistant, like very low on the totem pole at the time. But he does say that this really allowed Marvel to see Ryan Reynolds in this similar of a role, and now he's kind of played into this typecast of, it's a Ryan Reynolds role. It's not very quiet about the disagreements that Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds had on this movie. It's not very quiet about the disagreements that Wesley Snipes and his director is. I actually am going to just say the story off of rip because I do remember talking about this. Wesley Snipes was, quite difficult with this movie. He wouldn't attend any production meetings. He wouldn't show up on time on set. And really the only way that the director and Wesley Snipes communicated, and this is believe on the second or third director of this movie mid-shoot, they only communicated via sticky notes. He'd put a sticky note on his trailer. He'd show up, and even then the communication wasn't very good because there's that infamous scene of Wesley Snipes opening his eyes via CGI.
That's so much swagger. They'd be like, I hate you so much. I'm just going to talk to you through Post-it notes.
Right.
While I get paid millions of dollars.
Genius, actually.
This movie did review the worst. Made $128 million.
Yikes. That's not a lot of money.
Oh, some other facts on this movie. Ryan Reynolds improvised most of his dialogue as Parker Posey, which is why he was able to get the Deadpool role. Playing into the...
He just kept looking in the camera, and they're like, now we have to reshoot the scene. But that was kind of cool. We should say that.
Can I say something off topic?
Absolutely.
I know we've been pushing really hard for a Red Bull sponsorship, but I think we should go after Famous Amos next.
Famous Amos?
Yes, bro. You guys ever had these?
Well, first
we can't show the logo. We can't show the logo. We can't do free promotion.
You guys ever had these? They're so good.
Ever had Doctor?
The Doctor's in.
I still wish that joke made it through, man. The Doctor banner. There was an episode of This Month of Marvel where I was covering it, and I drew like a little Hulk on it with like a soda can in his hand, and it was Dr. Banner. And
why didn't it make it in? You're the one who edits them.
I don't remember. I think it was a cutaway mid-episode or something. And I think it was the green on the cup of the Hulk mixed with the green screen, and I didn't think that through. So, it happens.
But yeah, I don't have much else. You guys got anything to add?
I think Blade's coming back into relevancy even if his projects aren't coming out.
There's so much conversation about it, which I do think
Marvel Rivals.
The day that it does release, I actually think this is going to be a highly anticipated movie. I think it's going to do really, really well at the box office.
I agree, but also people have been waiting so long that if it is not enjoyed by the general public, that would suck. And then they would never live that down.
Yeah, but
I think it's a pretty... Not you can't mess it up, but I feel like you can't mess it up almost.
Yeah. I do feel like, though, that this movie sits in such a place that people, like, have nostalgia for these movies. At the same time, it's not in a way of, like, they remember these movies being so good. I think a lot of people have nostalgia for these because they remember...
cool moments.
Yeah, and they remember being either a teenager or in their 20s when they watched it, and it really impacted them, which I think's good. I certainly don't think people... majority of the time talk very highly about these movies. I think they maybe speak more highly on the time in their lives that they watch these.
It'd be like 40 years from now, they announced they're redoing Shang-Chi. We'd all be like, what, that's so cool. I remember seeing Shang-Chi.
I would think that's sick.
Mm-hmm. And then
maybe
it'll
it'll take 40 years to get Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah.
It's going to take that long, dude.
I actually think they're going to shadow release it after Doomsday, before Secret Wars.
I
don't think Kevin Feige would call himself
very
a loser
happy
for that.
Shang-Chi 2?
Shang-Chi 2. I thought you meant Blade.
No. Honestly, I think so. Did you guys hear that?
Let's wrap this conversation up so we can go do it.
Yeah, I should say Spider-Man. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys getting on for this episode today, especially for the audience. I know this was kind of a tough listen, but this is more of just proof of life that we did watch Blade. And we wanted to do our due diligence and talking about it pretty lightly. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Sacred Rewatch. We hope you enjoyed diving all over the timeline with us. Catch us next week where we are talking about, Brody, do you know off the top of your head?
We are talking about
a movie.
Something.
New recap episodes coming out every week leading up to Avengers Doomsday, wherever you are in the multiverse. Thanks for making the Sacred Rewatch part of your journey. For all time, always. See you guys.